Hey guys, Chelsea here from Making Manzanita, and today we're going to teach you how to make this modern farmhouse cookbook holder. All right, let's jump in. The awesome part about this project is everything comes from one piece of poplar project board, which you can find at Lowe's, and we're going to cut that board up and use it for the cookbook stand. So you only need one piece of wood. So you want to cut your wood down to size according to the woodworking plans, and we have these available for free for you, so you can hop down to the description and get a link for those. But you will need both a table saw and a miter saw to cut the pieces down to size. And then the back of the cookbook stand is that house shape. So you want to start by marking that and cutting it. So you want to measure on the back piece. We did about 3 inches down on both sides and then marked the middle, and then use a ruler or level to draw your line to connect the marks. And then you'll want to make the marks for the roof. And we did it on the left side and made the chimney about 2 inches wide. And there are really detailed measurements of this design in the woodworking plan, so you want to check that out before you get to cutting, because we've detailed it all out for you. But you can see here how we're making those marks nice and straight. And we ended up actually adjusting things slightly after we got it drawn the first time. So you can see here we moved the lines down a little bit further. So that's the good thing about drawing it out. You can decide if you want to change it before you start cutting. And then to cut everything down to size, for the top there, we used a scroll saw. So this is what it'll look like when you're done. And then you can clean everything up with an orbital sander. We lightly sanded everything with 80 grit sandpaper and then moved on to 150 grit sandpaper. And then all the pieces were ready to go. So this is what it's going to look like. These are all the 3 different pieces that you'll cut out according to the woodworking plans. We have all the measurements detailed for you. I'm really excited about this one. It's a cookbook stand, and it's perfect for Mother's Day, which is right around the corner. And look at this fun little design. It looks like a house. So, so excited about this project. But as we're working on it, we ran into something that I wanted to just quickly show you. So we tested it out on some scrap where the pocket hole regularly lines up to, using our Craig. This is the 720 Pro. And the little piece for the bottom of the cookbook stand that goes right here is just a little too small to use the pocket hole as is. So you can see here, it's just gonna, it's a little too far out. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna switch out this drill block for this micro pocket hole drill guide. And this is to be used with the 700 series like we have. And this makes a smaller pocket hole for situations just like this. Now don't worry, switching out the drill block on the Craig jig is really simple on the 720 Pro that we have. You just push those gray buttons in on the side and pop the new drill block into place, and you'll hear it click, and you're ready to go. Next, you can set your drill bit to the correct size based on the width of your wood or the thickness of your wood, and then you can drill your pocket holes. Pretty simple. Thing to keep in mind when you are using that micro pocket hole jig or block that we just showed you is that you'll also need a different type of screw. So we usually use these project kits where it just comes with a variety of screws. So you're going to want to look for the pan head screw type, and a 1-inch size is what we'll be using. All right, so you can see it's like uber close, but it just made it with that micro pocket hole. So the pocket hole is not shown from the front, and they're on the bottom. So we're good to go. Now, while you're attaching it, you're going to want to clamp it into place. And we found that the 90-degree corner clamp worked really well for this. We just put it on the corner, and then there's a little divot there you can see where it allows your drills to still get in to drill the pocket hole. So that's a perfect clamp for something like this. Here's another angle of it doing the other side. And so you'll just do one corner at a time with the clamp attached, and then you can drill the middle one, no problem. And then here's how it should look once you get that bottom lip on. So since we used the micro pocket hole on this cookbook stand, we needed to use the micro size pocket hole plugs, and we didn't have these on hand, so we ordered some of these because we've never used that small little micro pocket hole jig before. So these are the 2 plugs we got. We got the paint grade and the oak ones. That would be for like if you're going to stain it and then if you're going to paint it. So I added those pocket hole plugs in with some wood glue, sanded it once it was dry, filled everything with wood filler, and then sanded again, and it was nice and smooth. And then we are ready to move on to the finish. And for this, I went with a gray wash. So to accomplish that, I did a dark wood stain of dark walnut, and then I'm gonna go over top of it with a watered down white paint. And I'm gonna have a whole separate blog post and I think YouTube video that's gonna walk through this process a little more in detail, because there's a lot that goes into it and I learned a lot along the way, but I wanna try to keep this video a little shorter today. But you can see here, I'm just mixing that water and paint up, and I'm gonna put it right over the top of that wood stain and then wipe off the excess, and it kind of gives it that gray wash look. So that's the finish that I was going for this modern farmhouse cookbook holder, and I really love how it turned out. Once I was all done, it was time to seal. I used this clear lacquer spray and I did a few coats of that. And then the last step was to get this stand put on the back, and we just used a hinge so that it could be folded flat once it was not in use. You can see we attached the hinge to the stand piece, and then we attached it to the back of the cookbook stand. Okay, so we are wrapping up the cookbook stand, and for the piece on the back that kind of holds it up, we have this little piece, and it's got angled cuts on the end to hold the cookbook stand at an angle. And we attached this hinge so that when it's not in use, it can fold down and be flat. So you could put it in a cabinet or what have you. So that's how it's gonna work. The holes are a little hard to get in here, so start by pre-drilling your holes in the back of the stand just to get the angle in, because you're kind of coming in at an angle. And then the very last step is to put the front on that lip. We just used a drawer pull for that, and it served as a great way to keep the pages open when the cookbook stand was in use. So here's how it turned out once it was all done and dried. You can see there the stand just kind of props open and allows it to sit at an angle, which is perfect for when you get your cookbook in. And that drawer pull we just got at Home Depot, but it's just a matte black drawer pull. I really love the style of it. It matches kind of the ones we have in our kitchen too. So you can see here, it even holds like larger style cookbooks. This is the Magnolia cookbook, and it fits in perfectly there. I really love how this cookbook stand turned out. It makes a great Mother's Day project. I know that I made an extra one to give away as a gift, and I'm definitely keeping this one for myself. If you guys want to grab the woodworking plans, again, they're in the description below, and we have a more detailed tutorial over on our blog too, at that'smakingmanzanita.com. While you're here, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. We share weekly DIY and renovating videos. All right, see you next week. Have a great day.